Everybody, hello. I hope your day is going well. Is everybody having a good day? Thank you for the hearts. Getting tons of hearts right now. I love it. I feel loved. I feel loved. So thank you. Okay, I think we can get started for today. I will go ahead and start today's lesson, and I will review it twice, review the vocabulary word twice, so that if someone joins late, they hear it, and they get the opportunity or the chance to hear it. So today's word, thank you for the compliment. Today's word is abandon, or to be abandoned. And it's a very common word too. When I pick the vocabulary I teach, I try to pick the words you would hear most often or hear regularly in the English language. So I'm trying to pick words that would be very words that would be used very often. And then after about 100 lessons, then there should be a little less, some words that are less used in the English dictionary, or in English language, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with abandoned, and abandoned is spelled A-B-A-N-D-O-N. And you can it's abandon or abandoned. And so this is a common word, and it means to give up completely, to give up, or to leave behind. So it's commonly used when someone is giving up on something. So it can be used, let's say, for example, a ship is sinking, a boat is sinking. A lot of people say, I'm abandoning ship, which means you're leaving the boat behind. You're jumping off the boat. It's used in other examples. It can be used with little children. So if parents leave their kids behind, which this is sad, they abandon their kids. They leave them behind. They abandon their children. It can be for towns. In the United States, we have a famous phrase called ghost towns. And these are towns where no one lives in. They're old towns that everyone has left. No one lives there anymore. A lot of them are out west in California and Nevada and Arizona. I've been to a ghost town, and these towns are abandoned. They were left behind by people. They were left behind, and they're still there, but no one lives there anymore. So they are abandoned. Another common time this phrase is used is talking about houses, just one or two houses. You will be in a city and you might see boards on the windows. They put boards up, giant wooden boards, and people don't live there anymore. And the house is abandoned. It's an abandoned house. So this is a very common phrase. It's a very common phrase. And I have some other synonyms, words that mean the same, that are easy to remember. So another one is dumped. To be dumped means to be just left. To be given, just someone gives up on you, they dump you. This is common in relationships. This is a word that is used in relationships. If a boy and a girl break up, or just a couple break up, the person is dumped. Whoever broke up with, the person that didn't get broken up with is dumped. D-U-M-P, to dump. And so they are dumped, are left behind, or they are broken up with. This is a common phrase in the English language. A lot of people say, if a couple breaks up, they say, oh, you got dumped. To be dumped. So this is very common. But it can be used in a more serious way. You could say you were abandoned. No, not dumb. Not dumb. D-U-M-B is to be dumb or to be stupid. Or if something's not very cool, it's dumb. This is dump. So D-U-M-P. Dump. Dump. Not dumb, but dump. To be dumped. Yes, perfect. I'm getting comments that are writing it perfectly. This is to dump. But it also means abandon and dump are very similar. And then forgotten, to be forgotten, is another example of a word, to forget or to be forgotten. So you will see abandon in class, you will see it in writing, it's used in writing all the time. One of my favorite books is Frankenstein. I love Frankenstein, and the word abandon is in Frankenstein a lot because Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, who created the big monster, he abandoned the monster. He left the monster. And that's why the monster hates Dr. Frankenstein, because he's so mad that he abandoned him. So this is, to abandon something or someone can be negative. If you abandon someone, it can hurt their feelings. Usually you abandon something if it's broken. If your car is broken and it won't work anymore, you abandon it on the street. But it's used to say to leave behind or to forget about it. So this is a very common word. So to abandon means to give up completely. To give up completely. So again, it can mean to leave something or someone. So it can be either way. You can abandon people and you can abandon things. You can abandon either of them. It's used in both, with both people and things. So this is a very common word, You'll see it in reading a lot. When you're reading books, especially books that are in university, they use the word abandon a lot. And I read another great book called In Harm's Way. In Harm's Way. And it is about the USS Indianapolis. It's a ship from World War II. And it was hit by a torpedo. And the men had to abandon the ship. And they abandoned the ship, but there were lots of sharks in the water. Lots of sharks swimming in the water. And it's a very good book. It's a very sad book. But it's a very good book, and they use the word abandon a lot as well. It's a very good book to read if you are interested in history, if you like history. So this is very common. So a great question is, Phil, how should we practice these TOEFL words? So how should we practice these TOEFL words? Very good question. First thing you need to do is write these down. Write down what I'm telling you. The next thing you need to do is go to my YouTube page, which I will post later today. I finished it. It should be ready to go. I just have to click a button and upload everything. So watch over and over and over again. Watch these lessons. They will be shorter lessons. I take out the beginning part where I'm waiting for students. Another great way is to use it in your speech every week. Try to practice every day using these words in your speech. These are easy to use. Also, if you want to practice speaking just in general, do the shadowing technique. So when I'm speaking during my YouTube videos, what you will do is you will talk very quickly. Right after I say something, you will say it. And you will say it very quickly. And this will help you. It may not sound very good coming out of your mouth, but if you keep practicing this and keep practicing this, your speech will become more and more comfortable, and it will become quicker and quicker. And you'll get better and better at speaking. So practicing these words is very important. I'm not going to give you a list of vocabulary words. That's not fun. That's not interesting. So I will give you these. Watch the videos. Practice. I love seeing, if you use the word on Twitter, I love seeing you use comments on Twitter. And I will, the best advice, though, is to rewatch lessons. Rewatch lessons and practice these words with your friends. And keep practicing. Think of new sentences you can make with these words. And try to use it as often as possible. But listening is very important. So listening to these lessons over again is very, very, very important. And then reading books. Like Frankenstein is a great book. It's a little more difficult, but it's not a long book. But if you can read just a couple pages each day, or just even a page each day, this will help you. The great thing about the AMP English course is we give books. We give books for you to read and for you to practice with. So this is very useful. You will read a book a week, and you will get practice as much as possible. Practice all the time. So this is very useful. But remember, this week's word, or today's word, is abandon. A-B-A-N-D-O-N. Abandon. And it means to give up completely. To give up completely. And other words that are similar are to be forgotten or to be dumped. The chicken soup books. The chicken soup books are great books. These are very interesting books too to read. I've read several of them. They're very good. And if you want books to read, I will post books that I'm reading regularly. And I'm going to post some books about confidence as well. I said I would do that a couple days ago, and I forgot. So I'm going to do that today as well. So I will post some books on how to become more confident. This was from another lesson. And there are lots of books on this as well that are very useful.